power of the third vote. Can't start without you.
Clerk will call the roll.
Glenn Whitley, County Judge.
Here.
Roy Charles Brooks, Commissioner Precinct 1.
Present.
Andy H. Wynn, Commissioner Precinct 2.
Here.
Gary Fickus, Commissioner Precinct 3. J.D. Johnson, Commissioner Precinct 4. Constitutes a quorum.
We're definitely leaning a little bit to the right today.
We'll see about that.
And you are in the extreme right, I might add.
I make the right look good.
Our invocation today will be delivered by Pastor Brent Beasley from Broadway Baptist Church. Thank you for coming out today. After the invocation, please remain standing for our pledges.
All right. Let us pray together. Eternal God, we believe that you are the source of all wisdom, and so we ask you to bless these representatives that we have elected. Grant that through their discussions and decisions that we may solve our problems effectively and achieve together a more unified society and enhance the well-being of this place where we live and serve and raise our families. And we also pray this morning for the people of Tarrant County, those working and without work, the homeless and the well-housed, the fulfilled or the frustrated, those who are confused and cluttered with material goods, or those who are scraping together a life from little to nothing, those who are lonely, those who are living in community, those who are having revenue problems or spending problems. We pray for our sisters and brothers mourning and celebrating and living. May we share their suffering and their hope and be worthy servants of all of them. We pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Pastor, thank you for those words. We appreciate you coming out today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Pastor.
Mr. Manius.
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the court, we have three announcements relating to the agenda this morning. The first one is under the Criminal District Attorney's Office, item 9C1. That particular item will be handled after closed session today. Under purchasing, item 9H1, which is bid 2015-208. We're actually going to hold that particular item at this time. And then finally, members of the court, also under purchasing, item 9H7. This is RFP number 2015-049. We will handle that at the conclusion of the closed session today. Thank you, Your Honor.
Court members, you have before you the minutes of our regular meeting of September the 1st.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. We have a couple of proclamations today. The first is for Guardianship Services, and I know Joe Flowers, the Executive Director, is here. Would you please come forward? And I think you have some folks with you. If you'd bring them with you at this time, I'll read the proclamation and then bring it down there. Whereas since 1985, Guardianship Services, Inc., formerly Volunteer Guardians of Tarrant County, has provided guardians for thousands of Fort Worth's incapacitated citizens, making it the oldest continuously existing volunteer guardian program in Texas. And whereas Guardianship Services created a money management program in 2000, a less restrictive alternative to guardianship, and to make sure that the client's limited resources are strictly utilized for their benefit and in collaboration with their wishes. And whereas Guardianship Services extends a helping hand to adults when they are most vulnerable, when they are experiencing failing memory, confusion, and the inability to cope with activities needed to remain safe and healthy. And whereas the availability of trained, sympathetic, and responsible guardians, case managers, and volunteers provide protection from abuse, neglect, exploitation, and possible homelessness, now therefore we, the Commissioners Court of Tarrant County, do hereby commend Guardianship Services for effectively and compassionately serving Tarrant County residents and for celebrating its 30th anniversary in 2015. In witness whereof, we are herein to set our hands and cause the seal of Tarrant County to be affixed this 8th day of September 2015. I'll move its approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. And if you have a chance to read, we have an article on the Guardianship Services in our September 2015 newsletter. We appreciate very much the job and the work they do for us. We'll go ahead and get in here. I'll get in. Did you get one, Kathy? Okay.
Judge Whitley, thank you for this recognition of Guardianship Services, Inc. I am a latecomer to this. As you know, the founder of this organization and the person that was the founding executive director and served it for 27 years was Colleen Colton,
Yes.
who unfortunately passed away just a couple of months, 6 weeks ago, I guess it was now, maybe not that long. I've only been with GSI a tenth of that time, just 3 years, just completed my third year. And I believe that both the court and the people of the county can be proud, would be proud, the more they know about what these ladies and their staffs do. That's why I asked them to come with me this morning, because these are the people who direct the case managers who through the third quarter of this year so far, ending in June, had taken care of 555 different individuals where they were appointed the legal guardian or served as the money management person, their staffs did, for 555 individuals who couldn't do that for themselves and literally couldn't protect themselves from those who would take advantage of them. And unfortunately, one of the reasons that the courts appoint people as guardians is because there is no friend, appoint us as guardians, because there's no friend or family who is willing or suitable to provide the guardianship that these people need. So sometimes people ask me what business I'm in, and I say I'm in the protection business. And I am. Absolutely. But it's in the protection business as directed by the courts. With us is Debbie Shipkowski. She is head of the Guardianship Program. Patty Palma is the director of the Money Management Program. We have 133 clients that are served by both of those. So when you add up the total services that we provide, it's over 700. We're having a 30th anniversary luncheon, to which you're all invited. If you'll just call our offices and tell us you're coming, we'll have a place for you, if you haven't already. But that's on Thursday at Ridgely Country Club, and that's a noon luncheon. Now, at that time, we're going to be talking about the future and expanding our vision. You cut me off if I'm going too long.
You just keep right on going.
Okay. But what that means for a lot of service providers, especially to the elderly and those who need protective help, expanding our vision is really how in the world are we going to meet the demand for services that we see coming. There is the baby boomer generation, of which I am a part, and unfortunately, too many of my generation need this kind of protective care that we provide. Secondly, the legislature passed 4 bills this session that are going to require a great deal more time and attention and documentation. In our shop, if you didn't write it down, it didn't happen. So we have to be able to demonstrate to a number of regulatory bodies that we've done what we've said we've done. And the people have gotten the kind of care that we say they've gotten. That's what these people do with only a staff of 14. If you do the math, right now the math isn't working. We spiked up to 46 cases per case manager earlier this year. And the county has been a faithful supporter, less than 50%, but they have been really strong because they see the need, and with the courts, they have been very helpful to making this possible. Increasingly, we're going to have to turn to the community at large for philanthropic support, and we intend to focus on that as well. But that's who we are. That's our story. That's what we do. We thank you for this recognition.
Thank you very much for everything y'all do.
All right. I might also say I have for each of you a copy of some anecdote books, and these are just small anecdotes from case managers to give the flavor of their clients and how they deal with it. Short, brief, some of them are funny, some of them are sad. There's one for each of you gentlemen.
Okay.
And for those who are not here,
If you'll leave those with GK, he'll take care of getting them distributed.
that's it. Thank you.
Commissioner Brooks, I believe you have a proclamation.
I do, and I feel in a kind and loving mood this morning, so I'm
you're going to read it.
I'm going to read it. I'm not going to ask you to read it. This is in recognition of Hispanic Heritage Month, 16 de septiembre. Whereas September the 15th through October 15th has been proclaimed as National Hispanic Heritage Month in honor of the many contributions that Hispanic Americans have made and continue to make to our nation. And whereas National Hispanic Heritage Month includes Mexican Independence Day, which is September 16th, the day the people of Mexican descent around the world celebrate Mexico's independence from Spanish rule. And whereas in 1965, Richard Dick Salinas initiated the 16 de septiembre parade to showcase culture, tradition, and history in our community. And whereas Salinas was a torchbearer in the Hispanic community whose legacy will live on in celebration of this historic event. And whereas the Mexican Independence Parade Committee will sponsor its 50th annual 16 de septiembre parade, which will be held in downtown Fort Worth this Saturday, September 12th, continuing the tradition, culture, history, and future of Hispanic Americans. And whereas the 16 de septiembre parade committee will continue to be very active in the community, working to promote Hispanic heritage and giving scholarships to deserving Hispanic students to further their education as they honor Dick Salinas for his strength of vision, power of leadership in his community, as well as the legacy he left behind. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the Commissioners Court of Tarrant County, do hereby proclaim Saturday, September 12, 2015, as GAC de Septiembre Parade Day in Tarrant County, in witness whereof we have hereunto set our hands and caused the seal of Tarrant County to be affixed this 8th day of September 2015, and I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Here to accept this proclamation, we've got two outstanding leaders of the Hispanic community and leaders of, I'm going to say this one more time and I'm going to be done with it. DAC de Septiembre Parade.
Did he say that correctly?
Yes, I did. We've got Ms. Juanita Salinas and Pauline Valenciano, who have been with this parade and with this celebration for all 50 years of its existence. So if you ladies will join us at the podium.
Bring the whole crew up here. I know you've got a Tony Vasquez is the co-chair, I think, also. So
Y'all come on up. You get over behind and put little man up front. Great job. Excellent. Would you care to have a few words?
welcome. We appreciate you being here today.
I would like to thank the county commissioner for all y'all have done all these 23 years that I have carried the parade. It was co-founded by my brother Dickie Salinas in 1965 with 5 cars. Now it's one of the most beautiful parade, colorful, year by year, and it has gotten to be 50 years anniversary this year. I have kept his dream in doing this parade. Also, I have worked to give scholarships to Latin American kids so they can obtain their education. I would like to dedicate this plaque, I would like to dedicate the parade to the young generation, to the little children, so they can never forget where their ancestors come from. I know that there's a lot of Hispanic that have contributed here to Tarrant County, and I am proud to say this, that I dedicate this parade to the young generations of today. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Roy Brooks, Andy.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here.
50 years is a long, long time.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Also, I would like to recognize my assistant, Tony Vasquez. He has been with me, and he's behind me, and he would carry our name in the parade years to come.
Thank you, Tony.
I want to thank you so much for this proclamation. This proclamation we dedicated to our present and our future. The Fort Worth ISD makes us look great every year, and it is so great to still be here. And I remember J.D. Johnson used to help us from the beginning, and he's not here, President. And of course,
He's
Roy
gone
Brooks.
today.
So anyway, yeah, he was one of our pioneers. But thank you so much, and God bless all of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Commissioner Wynn, I believe you have a resolution.
Yes, Your Honor. The city of Mansfield turns 125 years old. And that huge celebration will take place at the Worst Fest in the downtown historic Mansfield. At 10 a.m., the ceremony will begin. I would love to invite everybody, including all court members, to be there and celebrate with the citizens of the city of Mansfield. 125 years old is a long time. So we have a congratulatory proclamation to be ratified today and will be presented at the Worst Fest. So I move for its ratification.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Is that this weekend?
Yes, sir. At 10 a.m. In the historic downtown of Mansfield, basically off of Main Street and Business 287. You know where that is.
Yeah. And also, I have, I see that our district attorney is going to be is going to be flipping pancakes. Are you going to flip them, or are you just going to turn them over? You're going to. You may try flipping a couple, and then you might just turn over from that point.
If it ends up on the ceiling, then I'll just turn them over.
And that is going to be this Thursday from 7:45 till 9:30 in the Lawyers Lounge on the 5th floor.
Come have breakfast.
And it's for the Walk for MAD.
It's
So.
the annual MAD fundraiser, and I'm the honorary chair for Walk Like MAD this year. And so this is our local in the office fundraiser. We hope y'all all come down and have pancakes.
Thank you very much. There it is.
Thank you, ma'am.
I want you to know who taught Shannon how to cook pancakes and turn it into a fundraiser.
You should have patented that idea.
I hope she does better at cooking pancakes than her team does playing football. My team just ran off the field with lightning. Court members, you have before you the consent agenda.
Move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Mr. Manius.
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the Court, we have one additional item this morning. We're requesting that the court approve a letter of engagement between the county and Deloitte & Touche to serve as the county's outside auditor for fiscal year ending September 30th, 2015.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What, how many years have they been?
This is I think it's the
This will be the
second.
second.
This will be the
This is the
second.
second.
Yes.
Okay.
So we have 3 more after this.
Good.
Ms. Snyder.
Risk Management Board is recommending the payment of the claim to Christian Holly and Mary Holly in the amount of $2,922.06 plus rental car.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Ms. Glenn.
Move to receive and file the personnel agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to receive and file a personnel agenda. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
That was in honor of J.D. Johnson.
Thank you. Good morning. I appreciate that. We have 2 additional items for the court this morning. The second item, we're asking the court to approve organizational changes to the Sheriff's Office, County Courts at Law 1, 2, and 3, and the 233rd District Court. We're requesting the transfer of 5 deputy sheriff's positions from the Sheriff's Office, again, to the courts 1, 2, and 3, and the 233rd District Court. The reason for this request is that Senate Bill 1139 allows these courts to appoint their own bailiffs, and so these judges have exercised their right to do so. The effective dates are outlined in your court communique and range from September 12th through September the 26th. There is no fiscal impact to this change.
Move for approval.
I'll second. I thought you said there were 5 that were moving. Why are there 5 that are moving and there's only 4 courts?
They're actually the 3 county courts at law. Each judge is requesting 1 bailiff, so that's 3. And then the 233rd District Court, Judge Harris is requesting 2 bailiffs.
Does he have?
They're an associate court.
Okay. We have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. And our third and final item, we're asking the court to approve changes to the table of organization for transportation services. This position, or the quality control specialist position, is currently a pay grade 17. This position's been evaluated by the Job Evaluation Committee, and we're recommending pay grade change to 18, effective September 12th.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Come on forward, Mr. Beecham.
And how did your team do over the weekend?
Texas getting beat has kind of put me in a kind and loving mood also this morning.
His team won pretty big.
We have 5 items for your consideration this morning. Our first item is a bid award recommendation for bid 2015-115. This is our annual contract for the purchase of sedans. Our recommendation would be toward a per unit price basis, according to the 13 vendors as shown in the court communique meeting all specifications.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Our next item is also a bid award recommendation for RFP 2015-176. This is an RFP which will select a public health marketing contractor. Recommendation will be toward, per the terms of the contract, selecting as our primary vendor Belmont Ice House, our secondary vendor the S&G Group. If this is approved, we're seeking contract approval from the court.
Don't everybody talk at once.
Second.
An ice house?
Yes, sir.
Okey doke.
We have a motion, a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Item number 4 is also a bid award recommendation for bid 2015-184. This is our annual contract for lime slurry and hydrated lime. Recommendation would be to award a per unit price and a discount from list price, awarding to the primary and secondary vendors as shown in the court communique.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Item number 5 is also a bid order recommendation for bid 2015-186. This is our annual contract for ASTM Type 1 Portland Cement. Recommendation be to award a per unit price basis according to the Ash Grove Cement Company.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. We didn't mean to hurt y'all's feelings. Public health, just take them away.
And our last item is also a bid award recommendation for bid 2015-189. This is a annual contract for asphalt road surfacing products. Recommendation would be toward a per unit price basis and a discount from list price, awarding to the 6 primary vendors as shown in the court communique.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Your Honor, I probably should have given more explanation on that RFP. This is a pretty big deal. This is a new annual contract. We are basically selecting a marketing contractor for public health to purchase airtime, to purchase billboards, for any ad campaign they may have on West Nile virus, any large project that they may have. It's a pretty big deal, and this will save us a lot of time and a lot of money. They might purchase bench markers for bus benches and so forth. And we've been working to get this in place for for about the last 3 or 4 years, and we're pleased to bring that before the court. That they're going to meet the contract vendor right now.
I think that's who just left.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Are there any appointments today? Being none, then you have before you the claims, including the addendum.
Move approval of the claims, including the addendum.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the claims, including the addendum. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Briefing items, Mr. Manius?
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the court, we have one briefing item this morning. It's really the wrap-up on our FY16 budget. Ms. Snyder is here to address the court. Just for the court's information, next week we're going to approve the budget and pass the tax rate not only for Tarrant County, but the hospital district and also emergency services district.
Ms. Schneider, would you let me address this first item?
You may.
There are a lot of county agencies and a lot of agencies that do business with county agencies whose clients depend upon bus tokens in order to access our services. Now that service has been handled for years by the T through what they call their Fair Aid program. Well, they have eliminated that program starting this fiscal year. And that leaves not only the county agencies, but the agencies that serve people who are served by the county agencies. For instance, the homeless, folks in the reentry program. From the county side, people who access MHMR, the diversion courts, the, what is it, Debbie, you said was our largest user?
Child Protective Services.
Child Protective Services. All of these clients depend upon bus tokens to be able to access the services that they need to make it through life. So I'm asking that we establish a fund out of non-departmental, out of our non-departmental fund of $30,000 to be administered by our Human Services Department and administered and dispersed to agencies by our Human Services Department. And that will include not only those county agencies, but others who may apply for assistance, other agencies who may apply and enter into a contract to use these funds. So,
The 1,500 for the administrator's office, do you care? Are you starting to take the bus?
Actually, no, it didn't print very well. It's criminal court administrator. That's for the diversion programs.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought we were diverting.
No,
Mr.
sorry. Sorry.
You're diverting the county.
We're going to take your automobile allowance and we're going to.
There you go. The T.
No, I think this is a good idea. You know, I know that the T has taken some heat over this. At the same time, you know, as the new CEO of the T came to this area, he came from an area where his budget was an annual budget, and he had to go out and sell the services to, whether it be private business, whether it be government, whatever it may be, on an annual basis. There was no fixed income. He came to an area where we've got DART over in Dallas County, we've got the T here. Our budget, our annual budget at the T, as far as sales tax, is about $65 million. At DART, it's about $450 million. So his number one goal, as set by his board, I believe, was to get TexRail done. And to his credit, I think he's been going out and trying to make folks who are benefiting, i.e. employers, cities that are not in the T, and in this situation, even some of the nonprofits saying that we all need to pitch in and provide and help to provide dollars and not expect it all to come from the Transit Authority. So, Commissioner, I wholeheartedly support this, and I think that in the future, we may find that we need to be partnering at an even higher level, and I think a lot of our agencies are going to need to find a way to partner to that same end. So
I initially had a higher number in mind, but I didn't want you to choke on it, so thought I'd ease you into this gradually.
Okay.
And you're looking at the information that was provided by the T. Many of these agencies, while yes, getting us somewhere between up to 1,200 to 15 free passes, they have been buying passes also. And it looks like, if I'm reading the information correctly, that those passes that they've been buying are actually a little bit less expensive than what they were paying for. Not a lot, but a little bit.
I think they have, what they have said is that they're not giving them away anymore, but they are selling them at, I think, 75%.
It's a 25%.
It's 25% discount, so.
Well, I think that we've got a responsibility as Tarrant County to assist in this effort, and that's why I would move that we include. Can the 1,500 be a part of the 30,000?
Well, it's just, I mean, it can be, but the department can control their own funds. I mean,
Okay. I will move for approval of the $31,500 fair aid kind of fund.
I'll second. Can I ask a question real quickly?
Sure.
How are we planning to administer this service?
that's to be determined.
That's to be determined?
Correct.
Okay, and it will only benefit the clients of the county, of Tarrant County agencies, right? It won't be used to fund other agencies' clients?
It will be used to fund other agencies' clients. I envision a process where they would apply to our Human Services Department, who we have kind of decided would be the best place to administer this program, that they could apply for assistance and contract with Human Services to, you're looking at me funny, Sharon.
Well, what this is, this provides a pool of money
Right.
that we can utilize through FY16 to address the issue of fair aid. And the details as far as how we're going to administer that, we're still working out a little bit. But that's
Sure.
what this is.
But Human Services, a lot of times, they're providing relief for rent, for utility bills, for different things like that. There's nothing, one of the things that we could suggest is that a priority be given to Tarrant County. I mean, I guess that would be public health.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, Andy, I hear what you're saying. I'm trying to think along the lines of.
We believe that there's sufficient monies within this 31.5 to handle direct county departments that deal in this area. But it also allows us some funding to be utilized for things such as the Reentry Council, for the Homeless Coalition, entities that we tend to contract with for services anyway. This just provides just a little more revenue that will give us some flexibility to be able to provide this type of service.
In Child Protective Services, for instance, it's already been spending around $10,000 a year on bus passes, in addition to the $1,200 that they've gotten free. Human Services has not exceeded the $500 that they get, but there already is funds in their budget for their direct clients. So we were looking at, for instance, by putting it in for the diversion course, that was the only operation that wasn't already assuming some sort of cost through the program as it exists today, or yesterday, whenever it ends.
I just want us to be cautious about opening up a floodgate that may quadruple this pool of money in the next 3-4 years.
That's why we're limiting it to 31.5 right now.
And We actually would control the floodgate. So it would open or close based upon our decision.
That's right.
And hopefully what this will do is it will encourage other entities to contract with the T for the providing of those services.
Excellent point.
And we've also got, you know, again, one of the other things that I will just keep mentioning is this TRN, the Tarrant Riders Network, where we're doing the pilot program on volunteer drivers, and encourage everyone to consider being a volunteer driver. You can do it for as little as 2 hours a week. It's Catholic Charities is helping us from a standpoint of training the drivers and helping with the scheduling and such. And that's another way. When you figure that less than half of our county is covered by the T right now, there's a lot of need out there that we can help with. Any other discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. That was item 1.
Thank you.
Yeah, really. Obviously, we're recommending, I'm sorry. Did you say something?
Item 2 is the,
Well, and let me preface this a little bit. We did receive some revised revenue estimates from the auditor's office. The only thing that was adjusted was an increase in cash carry forward. This is an adjustment that we were wrestling with employee group insurance to kind of right-size what we're contributing for employees versus active employees. But we backed off on that when we were struggling with balancing the budget period. Now that we've got a little additional cash carry forward, we are recommending this move. There's temporary salaries for Justice Peace Precinct 4. We've had some, not conversations, emails with that judge recently. And then an adjustment that was suggested by Precinct 3, Commissioner's Office. But we are recommending all of them.
okay, the one thing I'm not, so Commissioner Fickus is reducing his budget by 220.
Correct.
We're giving, that's Jacqueline, isn't it?
Correct.
I saw that email. The 750 additional funding for, is that just money we're going to be then transferring over into
the
our
health
reserve
insurance.
for?
Right.
Okay. Any questions?
I move for the approval of those items.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Does this
There sounds like there's a
complete
question in
everything
there.
that's hanging out?
It's all the low-hanging fruit. There's a lot of tie-up that has to still happen, but yes.
Well, the only question in my mind was about the $750,000 additional funding for under 65 retiree insurance.
And I
I
think,
might prefer that go to over 65.
Well, you know that.
what it's actually doing is it's actually just going, we had lowered the amount that the county was contributing into the insurance pool of funds, and so we're just,
Kind of
It right sizes.
we're not going to take quite as, hopefully,
True.
we're not going to be reducing that as much as we had
Yeah,
anticipated.
truly one side is overfunded, the other is under. And I said under 65 primarily because over 65s, we actually have purchased policies, and we know exactly how much that costs. So we look at that picture, and then we back out that projected amount and come up with a rate for our under 65s. And is it really what it costs? No, it's not. Will we ever get totally there? No, we won't. But it right sizes the balance a little bit better.
And one of the things that I would, one of the things that just remind y'all of is that whole reserve that we had in our health insurance. We had targeted, but we had said due to this Cadillac tax, we weren't going to mess with that until we got closer to it. Our estimate on what we're going to be responsible for on that Cadillac tax has gone, is now down under or right at $1 million from $5 million. So there's certainly progress being made in that regard.
I've got a philosophical question, I suppose, about all of that. We have been making our health insurance programs less rich the past 2 or 3 years in anticipation of this Cadillac tax that I'm becoming less and less sure is going to actually happen. What do we do if the Cadillac tax does not happen? Do we make our employees whole again?
Well, I guess what I would argue in there is that what we have done over the last several years is to bring our program somewhat more in line with not just what the private sector is, because we've always said that our benefits are better than the private sector because our pay is less than the private sector. So I think what we're doing is we're still making progress to be in line with what other governmental entities are doing. So I'm not sure that I see that as a change.
So we're just going to keep the money and go on?
Well, we're not just, I mean, I guess what I would say is we're giving them in salary increases also.
True.
And believe it or not, a lot of our medical care has not, we haven't seen a downtrend in our medical costs. It's still going up.
But
Basically, the cost is still the same or more. It's not less, the total cost.
Correct.
But we have always recognized that the way we attract and especially maintain good employees is because of our benefits package. And I don't want to get to the point where our benefits package becomes so lean that we have to raise salaries trying to chase the private market. There's no benefit in that for us.
I think our benefit package, I would not describe it as lean.
And your point is well taken. You know, we had made mention during our presentations that our merit and structure adjustments exceeded the dollar amount that we received from increased taxes from changes in appraised values. So had we not right-sized some of the health insurance funding, made this strategic shift, then we may not have been able to provide it at the level that we are. May not.
I just wanted to raise the issue. It's a long-term conversation that we'll be having as we see what happens with the Cadillac.
So you have insider information that
I
tax
might.
may be eliminated?
I might.
It's not what you know, it's who you know, right?
I think a lot of people are beginning to understand what the Cadillac tax means.
Do we
Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Now, we will be back next week with the approved budget, as Mr. Mania said. In the end, as we put the final pieces together, we're relooking at our salary adjustments, making sure the most current information is in the budget. Any adjustments or balances, of course, will be put into undesignated. So, see you next week.
Thanks, Deb.
That's all we have at this time, Your Honor.
Then we will recess our open meeting and proceed to close to discuss items exempted under Section Turned from our closed session, we'll now address the following matters.
Your Honor, if we could go back, first of all, to the budget issue. Ms. Schneider has one other comment.
I'm sorry, I had this on my notes to talk about this morning, but I totally overlooked it. Other thing we took into consideration in developing the final budget, you know, we make a reduction from our property taxes for the over 65 tax freeze loss. And we originally had that in there at $3.2 million. And in discussion with the auditor's office, there was concern that that would not be adequate, so we've increased that reduction of taxes to $3.6 million.
But that's all taken into account on the 750 also from the revenue estimates.
In the end, yes, it is, because there's, like I said, some ending cash that we'll take in consideration. So that was significant. I just forgot.
Okay.
Members of the court, we have two additional items. If we could go to the Criminal District Attorney section, item 9C1. We're requesting that the Commissioners Court authorize the filing of a suit against Kimberly Hatfield on behalf of Tarrant County.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Members of the court, if we could go to purchasing, item 9H7. This is RFP number 2015-049 concerning the specialty court software as a service. We're requesting that the Commissioners Court authorize the canceling of that award.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
I believe that's all we have at this time, Your Honor.
There being no further business, we stand adjourned.
Cool.